Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Ryan, how many more times are we going to get national TV spotlight games? Saturday is another one. It's Phil and Ryan on Listen Up. Ryan, I'm asking you this because how many more times do we have to prove ourselves, right? That we are the team of the regular season, even though you know the goal was March, Ryan. This one is Saturday, the 16th on Fox, number 18 and number 17, Ryan. Louisville and Connecticut. Oh my goodness, Ryan. What do you have on this last check-in? A beautiful last check-in, right? On this Thursday around lunchtime. Go grab yourself a ham sandwich, Ryan, after this. And to point out to you, Ryan, very important, KiKi Jefferson. I like local players that make it big, right? KiKi Jefferson for Louisville, the senior in Louisville from, guess where, Ryan? Lancaster, PA, about an hour away. So I had to point that out to you. Excuse me. She leads in points on this team, average points per game. What do you have, Ryan, on this last check-in? Predictions and comments after you go.
Yeah, UConn faces yet another top 25 opponent on Saturday, taking on number 18 Louisville. The Cardinals have won 6 in a row now, and their only loss this season was to Alabama by just 5 points. Obviously, losing Haley Van Leith was a big loss for them. It's been a hard spot to fill, but it seems like they haven't really felt the effects of losing her so far this season. Louisville picked up fifth-year graduate that you just mentioned, KiKi Jefferson, from James Madison in the transfer portal. She's been a pretty good addition for this team, trying to fill that void that Haley Van Leith left. But you know the Cardinals also added senior Sydney Taylor from UMass from the transfer portal. She's also averaging double-digit points this season. And guess what? Their third guard in the starting five also comes from the transfer portal. The senior Nina Rickards previously spent 3 seasons in Gainesville, Florida. So all three guards in the starting five have come from the transfer portal from the previous season, now starting for the Cardinals this season. Rounding out the top five, Nyla Harris and Olivia Cochran for the Cardinals, who are a pretty experienced team, a fairly bigger team that UConn is used to seeing. So I'm curious to see how how they fare with the Cardinals lining up against them. It's always interesting to see the rebound battle between UConn and whoever they play. I'm sure Aaliyah is going to have, her hands full with Cochran down low. Inside, it's going to be interesting too, now that we know that Ayanna Patterson is likely out for the rest of the season. So with that, UConn really only has two bigs down low with Aaliyah and Ice Brady. So really, those are the only two that can really truly play the five spot. And when they're not on the floor, it's pretty much Aubrey is technically at the five, which leaves Paige as the four. Not the ideal scenario and lineup that UConn would like to have. So these injuries definitely put UConn in a tough spot, forcing players to not necessarily play positions or spots on the floor that they thought they'd be playing. But I did really like the 3-point attempts from UConn against North Carolina. So hopefully that continues in this game. And like I said, the rebounding battle is always interesting. So hopefully UConn can kind of handle their own, especially with the smaller lineup on the floor. That's really what they struggled with against North Carolina. So hopefully when when Aaliyah Edwards is not on the floor, hopefully UConn can rebound a lot better this game.
Yeah, and you have to remember, Ryan, the Louisville Cardinals, their lone loss, their only loss of this season came against who else? Alabama, right? Alabama
Yeah.
Crimson Tide, all the way back on November 24th. What was that? The day after I surrounded your table for Thanksgiving dinner, I believe. So I think that was the day after Thanksgiving, November 24th. You have to go back to November for the Cardinals' only loss again on the season. And that's when Sarah Ashley Barker for Alabama scored 18, Ryan, against Louisville. Ryan, how about we get into some comments and then we will get our predictions going, because we all know that you can't wait for predictions and we all know that Ryan can't wait as well. Ryan, this was from the video back in the groove. Bueckers reaches 1,000. top UNC. Let's go over to Joseph Polero. They found their own starter. Excuse me, not their own starter. They found their other starter in Ashland. KK reminds me of Mariah in her freshman year, athletic and very quick, but needs to get under control and develop a consistent outside shot, which she is doing. She is more than capable of doing. Aubrey must start as she is a game changer in so many ways. Nika comes off the bench. Really need Brady to step up as they are going to need her size come later this season against South Carolina and in March. Paige back to point where she can control the game as too many twos to buy Nika and KK. So yeah, Ryan, it's interesting. We've been getting a lot. This is not the only person who's done this. We're getting a lot of KK comparisons to Mariah in her freshman year.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with, the Ashland comment. I think she definitely deserves to be a starter moving forward, along with KK as well. I think those two really play well together with the other starters. I think it's interesting with Nika because, she obviously hasn't been having the start of the season so far. I'm sure she's like to have, definitely not as good as last season, but we kind of figured that with Paige coming back, it would kind of shift the tide, if you will, a little bit in terms of what everybody's role would be. I'm glad Paige had a fantastic game against North Carolina. Like I said, hopefully she can continue that momentum. I do believe Aubrey deserves to be a starter, but I think her coming off the bench, she does really good coming off the bench as well. It's interesting with Nika because of her defense and intensity and kind of just the leader she is for everybody. When they huddle up, when there's a small break, she mostly leads the huddle and points out things to players. So I really don't think you can really leave Nika out of the starting lineup. She did have a pretty good game against North Carolina, 4 threes, I think, 12 points. So hopefully she can start, get the ball rolling, get a little momentum for her as well. But I really like the lineup the way it is. Obviously, with the injured players, it's really unfortunate. Kind of leaves us a little shorthanded. But I really do like the lineup the way it is now.
Jason D'Amico, great win. Still a lot of work to do, but this was a gritty win. UNC came out aggressive and physical with elbows flying. Paige was on a mission tonight. She was ridiculously efficient and lights out on defense, including count them, 4 blocked shots. Damn, she's good. Peace.
Yeah, I think that was really a get right game for her. I think there was a little I think she really needed to get a good game under her belt and get a little bit of confidence back if she needed any. She's been playing pretty good, considering all the amount of days that she's missed. But UConn really needs her, production of at least scoring 15 to 20 per game. And I think, like I said before, when she really starts scoring, it opens up the offense for a lot of other players. So, when she has good games like that, I think it kind of just opens up the offense and kind of allows everybody else to let loose and be more confident as well.
I'm thinking about something very quickly before predictions. Make sure you stay on topic, and I want you to answer this question, Ryan. I'm sure a lot of other people want to hear you answer it too. Bon Riley goes, I had been a member of the UConn women's basketball team fan club on Facebook. The negativity on the site got so bad, I got off the site. The continued improvement of the freshmen will help Paige. So then I scroll down a little bit further and I see another title on a video. The UConn Huskies are broken. That's what it says, right beside, almost directly right beside Bon Riley's comment today on Listen Up, right? It was under a column of videos I have here. The UConn Huskies are broken. I just, not to only break down Bon Riley's comment, Ryan, but I just want to make sure that you at least take into consideration what I'm about to tell you or ask you. What is it like? What does it feel like, especially for you? Or I don't know if you would ever be in this boat because you're always full of positivity. So that's right. If you love positivity, especially about the UConn women's basketball team, keep it right here with Phil and Ryan. Listen up. But I want to ask you, Ryan, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but what if UConn would happen to do something amazing next March or even April. Yeah, that's right, Ryan. I said it, April. What does these people, Ryan, feel like? My question to you, when something amazing happens come postseason in any sport, but yet when the season started, you're talking about these teams that's struggling. Oh, they're broken. They can't do it. What happens to them, Ryan? Do they go hide their face? Do they hide their face? Do they go not make any more videos the rest of the year? Like, what do you think runs through their head?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways you can go with it, but as far as I'm concerned, that like you said, I always try to keep everything pretty positive and don't look at the negatives or try to try to stay away from all negativity. Given how that there's so much that surrounds us every single day, everywhere you look, there's always negative. There's no positivity anymore. But yeah, I mean, hopefully for just specifically for UConn, it's obviously been a struggle, and we knew that the noise was going to be pretty loud if UConn did struggle, and they did a little bit, losing 3 games, but they've picked it up a little bit, and hopefully they can prove a lot of people wrong come March, and hopefully we don't see and all the negativity goes away for a while.
That's right. All right, Ryan. Well, predictions. I almost forgot again. Predictions on Listen Up. UConn Huskies, do not let me down. Do not let me down, and do not let Ryan down. I got a feeling, Ryan, what you're going to predict. And no, we didn't discuss this. Tell him before the episode. Ryan, this is the time. I feel like that this is the time to turn it up. We've had some national televised games already this season. And just in my opinion, again, not to be negative, let's go and put that out there now, right? Not to be negative. But correct me if I'm wrong. I think some of the national games were losses, I'm trying to look back. I would have to look back at the schedule, not to waste any more time right here, but I know it's prediction time. Yeah, even if I just think that this might be the time to show up on national TV. I personally, a lot of people doesn't even pay attention. Oh, the game's on national TV, blah, blah, blah. I think it's a big deal. You're not going to talk me out of it, Ryan. Nobody else is going to talk me out of it. I love, no matter what sport it is, I love nationally televised games, and I believe that that's the time to show up. Ryan, I have the UConn Huskies in this one, 85-70. 85-70. I think that, especially in the third and fourth quarters, my prediction, Louisville is going to start having trouble scoring. 85-70 UConn on Fox.
Yeah, I think those 2 losses were NC State and Texas so far that have been on national
Yep, thank
TV.
you.
But
Yep.
I tried to tell everybody that December would be the turning point. These home games have really helped UConn, and I was really hoping that they would kind of shift the momentum and get things going. I think they can continue the momentum in this one. Like you said, Fox, it's pretty early start at 12 o'clock, so hopefully they're up, ready to go. I think they will be. I'm really excited to watch it. I have UConn winning again. I think they keep the win streak going. I'm going to go 73-66 in favor of the Huskies.
All right, Ryan. And I should say not my, but like our good buddy says, like Joe Buck says, and we'll step aside on Fox. It's Phil and Rye on Listen Up.